Hello, good evening, guys, and welcome to season 2, episode 8 of the Tell Talks talk show. Tonight on the show, we are discussing some of the films that are coming out this weekend, including If, and we're also going to be reviewing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So there could be a bit of spoiler talking here. So if you haven't seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, maybe you should go and watch it before you watch tonight's show. Joining me tonight, we have got the man himself, Dino Joe. Let's get Dino Joe on. Joe, how you doing, mate? I can see the poster behind you, sitting rather nicely.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. In the chat tonight, we've got Corey. Hi, Corey. Hope everyone's doing good. And we've got Paul. Good to see you in the stream, Paul. Seen Paul's been watching a lot. For both Corey and Paul, been watching a lot of films on Letterboxd lately, which I absolutely love. I love seeing people rank films on Letterboxd. So, before we get into it, then we'll just ask how your day is, Joe. You say you've been home 5 minutes. You had a busy one today.
Yeah, very busy week. Ready for a very busy weekend. Got a wedding on Saturday, and I'm best man, so all the rushing around, all the final bits and pieces. But yeah, getting quite exciting and nervous because speech in front of 100 people.
Yeah, if YouTube goes well, you'll be speaking in front of more than 100 people technically. So the speech should be nothing. The speech should be nothing. So let's get started with the stream then, guys. Let's add it to the stream. There we go. So I've just got to make it full size, guys. We're going to start with If because it's been a bit of a weird launch with If because you've already seen the film, haven't you?
Yeah, I saw it on Saturday.
Yeah, and I looked at Cineworld tonight and it says If releasing May 17th. So I'm not sure what's going on. So we've got If coming out this weekend, which Joe's already seen. So Joe's got maybe inside scoop. I don't know what happened there, but it's about a young girl who goes through a difficult experience, begins to see everyone's imaginary friends who've been left behind as their real life friends have grown up. So, Joe, without spoiling it, can you tell us a bit about the film and your thoughts on it, really, mate?
It's about, literally as the little blurb describes, it's a young girl that is living in New York. She's got she wants to grow up, but she's still a kid, but she wants to be grown up. And then she discovers she's got a gift where, she can see everybody's imaginary friends. And her and Ryan Reynolds' character try to help all these imaginary friends are basically like the Lost Boys from Peter Pan, essentially. They're imaginary friends from people who now aren't needed by their kids as they've grown up and they've forgotten who they are. So they're trying to rehome them to new kids. It's really good. I booked it I watched 3 films I was planning to watch 3 films on Saturday. So I put it in the middle just because it looks like it's going to be very, very chill, like a chill kids film.
Yeah.
And it was really, really good. I was really surprised. It reminds me a little bit of Toy Story 3, the emotional side of it. There was quite a lot of people crying in the cinema at various points in this. It is a very, very good watch. Very surprised.
It's weird because it looks like from the outside, it looks like one of the films just like all-star cast, cheap movie, and the cast sells the tickets, not the story, not the actual how good the story is. The cast sells the tickets. You've got Ryan Reynolds, Steve Carell doing the voice, Katie Fleming, John Krasinski. I'm sure there's a few other people who are in it, but I'm gonna say, who is Ryan Reynolds' character then? Is he a real person in it? I didn't really know Ryan Reynolds was in it until I saw the image online.
Yeah, so he is the one helping the imaginary friends, and then she discovers him helping them because she sees one of the imaginary friends, so she follows them to where they are because they're living in the same building.
Yeah,
and she then starts helping him. So that's sort of how it plays out. It's really good.
So Ryan Reynolds' character is real.
Yeah.
So no, I'm looking forward to see it. And John Krasinski is in it. He's the dad.
He's her dad. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to see it. It's a good cast, and as Corey just says here, meeting Kaylee in July, I might get something from If signed or something if I can't find the Judith Funko. Yeah, the Judith Funkos are really weird. We're actually touching on Funko quite a lot tonight. I haven't really give Joe a briefing on tonight's stream, but yeah, we are touching on Funko quite a bit. So do make sure you stick around for that. But yeah, it does look interesting, good watch, and yeah, fun watch as well. Have you give it a Letterboxd rating? If you have, I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I gave it 3.5. To be honest, I probably would have given it higher actually.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. Didn't expect to. Just thought it was going to be an easy film. I was supposed to be seeing Fall Guy in the morning, that kind of fell through, and
Yeah.
then Kingdom afterwards. So it's like, oh, I'll put a nice little kids film in the middle just to break it up, something not very serious, and cool, it caught me right off guard. So
Nice.
it's
Yeah. So
really good.
So I'm gonna try and hopefully watch it in next week. I'm not sure about this weekend. The Fall Guy I've still not seen. So you've not seen the Fall Guy as well, then? I take it, or have you?
Yeah, I've seen the Fall Guy.
You've seen it
Watched it
now,
Sunday.
yeah. And how's that?
Really good.
Yeah.
Really
So
good.
it's weird. So to me,
It's-
that looks like enough. Sorry, man, that looks like another film where the actors kind of try and sell the film on its own. Right, Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling, and it doesn't really matter if the film's any good.
It's a great cast. It's a really
Yeah.
good cast. I think Coombsy touched on it last week that it's the same director as Bullet Train, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
kind of know what you're getting yourself into in that the way it's shot and like the action sequences, and it really is a love letter to stunt performers.
Mhm.
You're hooked the whole way through it. It is a little bit sloppy, like some things are dragged out a little bit, but because of the action in it, you don't really notice it. I think I gave that 4 out of 5. The Fall Guy is very, very good for cinema as well. I think all these films that have come out in May, and especially this year so far, like if you think about Dune and even the back end of last year of Wonka, there's so many films that have been brought out that
For
are really
cinema.
good to watch in the cinema. It's such a different experience than just watching it at home.
Yeah. No, I think like another film we touched on last week with Coombsy was Challengers being a good film for cinema, and especially like, did you see it on a big screen? I can't remember.
No, I just saw it in the normal screen.
Yeah, but it's quite a big cinema screen. To take it for you still. I told you about yesterday. My screen had 3 rows, and that was it. But Challengers I saw in the super screen, and that was quality. Like, and the music volume in the super screen was absolutely brilliant. Coom said it's loosely based off an old TV show of the same name. I think he's talking about the Fall Guy.
Fall Guy is, yeah. When
Yeah.
I said that to my told my mum I'd been to cinema, and I said what I'd seen. She went, "Oh, that used to be a show." Quite a lot of like my mum's generation really want to watch it for that reason. I think it was in the 70s or 80s show, something like that. But
yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, well, we're actually going to come on to later on our letterbox last full watch. So you may have not spoiled it, but you may have dropped a few hints on.
I think I've seen more since then.
Full watch. Anyway, let's move on then, guys. To, if this slide's going to work, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So me and Joe have touched briefly on it. Do let us know in the chat, guys, if you've seen the film or not. If you haven't, we'll try our best not to spoil anything. But Joe, and if you want to show the poster off as well, Joe, tell us what you thought of Kingdom Planet of the Apes. I'll get you up full screen, mate. There you go.
So I watched it in Screen X, I think it is. So it's where the full cinema becomes a screen at different points. So if there's big sort of landscapes to see or stuff like that, it makes the screen bigger and it feels like you're in it. It is absolutely crazy. And by watching it in that, I got given a lovely little poster, and it's really, really good quality. It's almost like card material, and it just looks really cool. There's Proximus's crown that goes into some of the scenery, which is old cities covered by new foliage.
I didn't really notice that bit.
Yeah, it's the city, but yeah, it's really, really cool. Very good poster. As for the film, I absolutely loved it. It's so familiar to the franchise for the 3 that have just been before it, but it's so different in the same sense. It does feel like a completely new start. There's a lot of callbacks to the original trilogy, and the Caesar name is a massive part of this film. It's very, very prominent, but it still does feel, you can tell how far in the future it is. They've progressed a lot. I think most of the apes, generally speaking, actually talk now, whereas after watching the trailers of this and then watching this film, I think you forget that not really many of the apes at all spoke in the previous trilogy across it, even until the 3rd film. Really, Caesar's dialogue is pretty broken up until the 3rd film. I think Bad Ape speaks the best out of anyone, really, in the previous trilogy. But yeah, the world building and the way it starts a new trilogy, or apparently 6. There's 6 more or 5 more to come.
But yeah,
Yeah, I loved it. Really, really good.
yeah, I've seen quite a lot of people on Letterboxd and TikTok give their own reviews and stuff, and a lot of people what people have been saying is like almost like complete opposite to what I thought. People have said it lacks world building when I thought it was a complete opposite. Like the world building was there as the story goes on. You notice things. Oh, like okay, that was a baseball stadium, and like this used to be like a power plant where they live and where they actually camp and stuff, and the actual kingdom itself was like a a massive ship and a shipping containment and there's a vault and all that. But yeah, I'm trying my best not to spoil it. And then I saw someone comment about if it's like 100 years in the future, why are the apes still not fluent like in their speaking? When the answer is one, it's not actually their mother tongue. Like they're not, and two, it's not like they actually go to ape school or have an actual dictionary of vocabulary and actual teachers actually teach them how to actually speak human language. So the broke down the broke down of their speech and punctuation is like it's almost like it's almost like too good as it is right now with them breaking up a bit. I think Coombsy said something about the humans. My thing with it is like years after, how the heck are more humans running around? You'd think they'll be dead. It kind of explains it because the simian flu is a bit. I can't really talk about the real life flu we had here, the pandemic thing, but it was quite subjective. Like it only went to certain humans or the majority of humans. I think they said it wiped out 90% of the population. So not some people were immune, but they didn't really know why they was immune. But yeah, no, I love the film. I love how it is like 200 years in the future. With the kingdom, they all kind of have got roles and like jobs and responsibilities. So they actually are, and same with like the Eagle clan. I don't think all of them can talk to eagles and use the eagles, but they've all got roles and responsibilities. And Noah's dad is the head of the Eagle clan. So loads of little things that it shows you that like this film, it could even be like a prequel to this film if they wanted to go down that route, because there has been so much that's actually happened since Caesar. Anything else for you, Joe, regarding the film? Corey's just mentioned Kevin Durant is in this, right? I think he played the villain. I love him as an actor, especially. Abigail loves to meet him. Yes, I think I saw a couple of your TikToks on Abigail, but I just didn't want to click on it because I've not seen the film yet. But yeah, he's great in it. That's a good way to move forward with the film then. Kevin Durant playing Proxima Caesar. What did you think?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it was him by the voice. Unless you see him in the press conference, in the press tour when he's yeah. Today
Eagles done well today. He's a Palace fan.
At the palace. Yeah. Unless you see him on the press tour talking and getting into character, it's really hard to tell it's him. That was almost a standout for me. Proximus as a character, so like mighty, so king-esque. I love Kevin Durant as well. He was a villain in Lost, and he doesn't look any different. And that was 20 years ago. So yeah, he's in Lost for a little bit, and he's very, very good. He just plays a very, very good villain. But this is completely different to sort of villains I've seen him as previously. Because I liked Proximus. Like he's bad, but I liked him. He's a very, very good leader in that sense. The way he rallied everyone.
I feel like he's bad, but he doesn't really do anything bad, like in the actual film. But it's like it could almost be subjective, like he's trying to build a kingdom of apes. But yes, the way he's recruited other apes is a bit immoral. But he hasn't
They're all slaves, but you can tell they actually like him.
Yeah,
generally speaking. Even some of the characters that I won't mention really liked him. Like, this is a really nice life.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. We can't really comment on. I know who you mean. Another thing I was going to say regarding Kevin Durant is when he does the voice, like with the press and in interviews, there's no it's no what's the word, auto tune on. I think he actually that's like literally the voice. Like, it's mad. Like, it's actually like they may have upped the tone a little bit, but it's almost like the actual voice that he uses in the film. So that really caught me off guard. We've got Harry and Jack in the stream. I should mention that I did actually delete the Discord, so if you haven't got any notifications about the lives or any videos coming out, it's because I did delete Discord. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing something different to get a group in a different community. So yeah, I've just deleted the Discord in the last 2 weeks or so. But thanks for tuning in, Harry and Jack. And Coombsy says that could be the prequel, School of the Planet of the Apes. Which, you know what, it could even be a thing. It could literally be a thing. Someone else
What a
might
wonderful day.
like that could be like a little TV show, Disney Plus spin-off or something. You can definitely see that happening.
Oh, don't put that in Disney's head.
You know what? That's what I was going to say. Actually, I watched it again last night, and there was elements in the film where I could tell it wasn't Disney. And there's bits I was like, yeah, Disney will probably go down this road. But is it Warner Brothers? No, Fox, 20th Century Fox.
Yeah,
went down this road. But yeah, really loved it. Another thing with the apes, they were a lot more fearful. Like the big bad ape. I suppose big bad ape, or is he a gorilla?
gorilla.
The
one
one
just to the right of the human in that photo.
Yeah, he was terrifying, wasn't he? Like, and the way they portrayed him in it was brilliant. When the waterfall's coming down, and you see like his shadow, and he comes through in the waterfall at the end to fight Noah. That was a really terrifying one. And then the scene where they're hunting for May in the bush. Is it the bushes? What is it, bushes or the grass? The grass, probably the grass is the better word for it. But yeah, really terrifying, and a lot of the characters in it were really great. Anything else for you to add to it on Kingdom, mate?
No, yeah, that's pretty well summed up about us ruining it for everybody else.
And yeah, Kumi says, nice throwback to the originals, apes as teachers and scientists. Yeah, so I think we've got 2 more for this trilogy, and then I think there'll be another 5-year gap, and then they'll do another trilogy. But what's happened is Wes Ball hasn't been guaranteed to do the sequel or the trilogy, so it could be a different director. So it'll be a sequel, but it might not be connected as much as we'd hoped to the first one. So next up, then, guys, we are talking. I actually forget what we're talking about. Happy Gilmore. So we've seen Happy Gilmore 25 years ago, might even be 30. We've seen Adam Sandler doing a lot of promotion work lately, and he's been in London, been in Clapham. What's your thoughts on the sequel then?
I'm just indifferent on it, to be honest. Like, I do love Adam Sandler, but I like how over the last 5 years he's sort of evolved into a more serious actor. Like, he's taken some serious roles, like Spaceman. He's great in. Uncut Gems is one of my favorite films. He's absolutely fantastic in that. And it feels like another corny step back. I don't know what they're going to do with it. It just seems like it's been so long that I just can't see it being anything more than super, super cheesy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Coombsy says the sequel is just an Adam Sandler vlog from London. If very well could be.
Yeah, just playing basketball instead.
Yeah, you generally don't know. Maybe Happy Gilmore does go to Scotland, goes to Scotland and does a competition there. But I feel like one thing we have to say about it is that no one really asked for it, and Happy Gilmore on its own is not a perfect film, but it's a perfect film on its own. It didn't need a sequel, and Adam Sandler's already playing someone who's acting as a young kid, really, just the way he acts. So now he's going to be 25 years plus on top of that. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's something we need. Jack says, no idea what they'll do for Happy Gilmore 2. Don't see how it can work now. It worked in the 90s, but not sure about now. Exactly that. And Paul's never seen Happy Gilmore. There we go. That's a big one. So yeah, I'll probably say that probably in his top 5 films. It's a solid film.
A lot of the Adam Sandler 90s films, those sort of characters, they get away with being those sort of characters because there's no social media and stuff like that. So he doesn't know what anybody else thinks of him until he finds out that he's being talked about or being made fun of by Shoot McGavin on the course. But until then, he's completely blissfully aware. Where if it was now, it's a completely different world, a completely different setting. I just don't think it can work. I think that's the only way they'll do it is if it'll be oh, Happy, you've been invited on the tour, the European tour or something, or the Ryder Cup, or it's something like that. I just don't really understand how else they can progress it, because especially this far in the future, it's got to be like a really big leap. If they just come back and go, oh, he's going to retire, he's doing one last tour, one last open, it's like we're basically telling the same story again.
Right, and so if it's what, so it's, Jack said it's in the 90s, so say 25 years, no, it'll be 35. Yeah, it'll be 35. His grandma, his nan, must be dead by now, that was the plot, wasn't it? He's trying to earn money playing golf to save his nan's house from being demolished. That was one of the plot. And so two, he has the girlfriend or whatever. Surely he's got a family and kids now. Like, surely, like, especially if he's like a famous rich golfer, you'd expect him to actually have a family and stuff. So, sure, he's gonna have to be like happy to get more kids in it. Maybe it's gonna be like he plays against his son and something corny like that. But yeah, again, not something we've asked for, but it could be alright. Netflix, it is going to be streamed on Netflix, so I don't think it's going to be a cinema release. But yeah, like you said, I was quite intrigued to see Adam Sandler go down a bit of a more serious path now in his career. Jack says it come out in 96.
Same age as me.
Coombe said 90s movies which come back and they try to be the same don't really work. And that was one more thing I was going to say. Yeah, because with comedy and humor, you could get away with things in the 90s, and now cancel culture is so strong. There's so much things you can't actually say and do no more. So, yeah, you had Ben Stiller's character as well, working in the care home. I just feel like the comedy then is going to be very different now. So it's going to try and be funny, but we just don't know. And Coombe says, so based on every other movie, it's about kids learning to play golf. So, you know what I mean? I feel like he's got to have kids in it. It's just going to be, I feel like, because it's so far ahead of what, since the last one, they are going to they almost have to put some certain things in. Right, next up, we've got Funko. So I want to chat about Funko. I've spent most of my day today just listing Funko Pops and Vinted. I think I listed 90 Pops. I'm looking at my Pops today and looking at my collection. They're making me more angry than proud to collect them. So I was going to ask you, Joe, what's your actual thoughts on Funko at the minute? And people in the chat, I know quite a few of you are Funko collectors.
It just doesn't excite me like it used to. It's not like anything that I really look forward to coming out. So many new releases are just like, it's either from a line that started a year ago and they're like, oh no, and there's an extra one from that line. It's like, yeah, that would have been cool a year ago or 6 months ago. Like, yeah, it's really hard. Saying that though, I did go into a Smith's today to kill some time, and they had loads of like old releases that they've re-released. So they had like Clone Wars Pops, like a Clone Wars Yoda and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
And some older releases. So it was quite cool seeing some older stuff re-released. But that's as much as my excitement's been recently. I mean, I ordered some bits that I was going to do an unboxing on, and it's been in here in the box for 6 weeks, and I've not really been asked. Yeah, it's bizarre. Even like for signings and stuff now, I look at stuff that for characters that I'd like to get signed and think it's going to take up loads of room just getting more stuff signed. It's almost like I'm being really particular with things. And I'm looking at posters and stuff now, like, do I carry on getting Lord of the Rings stuff signed, or I'd rather have my poster that I've got up signed or something like that? It's certainly a strange one. What about you? Are you just completely off it?
Yeah, I mean, just for an example, I've still got this package here. I bought this from Vinted 2 months ago. It was about a week after Comic Con Aberdeen. It's the Jumanji Funko Pops. So Bravestone and Jack Black's character. I can't remember his name, but yeah, I've just had no urge to open it and unbox it. I'm just looking at stuff now. I've got I think my collection's about 350 Pops. I'm just looking at them. I'm just like, I've got Shang-Chi, and then I've got Razor Fist, and I've got Shaolin. I'm like, even if I met Razor Fist and the Shaolin actors, I don't even care. But I'm just like, I don't really know why I've got it. I've got my favorite characters in film are very like, he is quite a small circle. Like, massive Obi-Wan Kenobi fan, massive like fan of Caesar and Planet of the Apes, of course. I do love my Stranger Things. I love my Walking Dead. I love The Office. But I just feel like as a whole, I've got like obviously loads of Mandalorian pops, and I've got like loads of Grogu variants. I don't really need that many. You know, you're not really going to get a Grogu pop signed anyway. There's not. There's a puppet, you know. So there's just so much I've got in my room, just sitting there, and yeah, I feel like when it comes to signings, it's not. I'm not really getting it for the signing. It's almost like to say something. Oh, I went to Comic Con Aberdeen and I've got this signing as a memory. It's not just I'm getting the signing.
Yeah, it's to
It's
meet and have a interaction with the guest rather than just a photo where you could potentially go, "Oh hi, thank you," and that's it. It's almost just for the prolonged interaction, isn't it?
yeah, no, 100%. Well, let's go to the chat then. Jack says he's not bought any for ages. I know Jack's got a big collection. I think Jack's got probably a more expensive collection than me. Cream says if it's not for signing, I'm not buying it. Corey said I'll stay collecting Funkos, but I wish they did more horror ones. Yeah, they started doing that Halloween Halloween in HMV. They done that Halloween stuff around October time. There's plenty more coming horror-wise, Corey, including new Ghostface and Terrifier. Paul says, whatever you do, stay away from Lego. Totally drains your bank balance. We'll come on to Lego in a minute because there was a release. Joe, maybe Full first fell down the trap. I don't know. But yeah, so for me, I want to have a big clear out. And yeah, but for like,
be back in 5 minutes for you.
What's that?
You said you wanted to have a big clear out. I'll hold the stream for 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, there's so much I'm trying to get rid of, and even like I was listing pops, I listed load of pops on Vinted for a £5. Someone's come back, bidded £3. I declined it. They've come back again, bidded £4. I declined it. And the pop I listed was a glow in the dark special edition Mandalorian pop. So I've only listed it for a £5, and they didn't even buy it. So even like the Funko community is just not for me no more. Just people just irritate me. If I could just do a big bulk sale, get rid of 90% of my collection, I would. And then if there was a sign in, like Coombsy says, I'll just go out and buy the pop. And if I have to pay over the odds for it, and I probably would. Yeah, Jack says, I'm thinking of loading a hefty chunk of Walking Dead ones. They take up so much space. See, yeah.
Tell's collecting again.
Yeah. I forget
you know what?
forget what. But yeah, and also the fact we've got pops that get re-released. So some you think have got value, they actually don't. They've actually been re-released again. Coombsy's fell victim of that recently with Lord of the Rings ones.
Yeah, me.
We've had it. We've had it with Lord of the Rings as well. I was listening up some of the boys' Funko Pops today, and Homelander's worth like £15 when it was worth like 18 not too long ago. So there isn't before Funko is about collecting stuff as like an investment for the future, but everything's getting re-released these days. So yeah, the novelty of it is just wearing out for me now, and I feel like I collected Funko because I enjoy film and TV, where you can still enjoy the film and TV shows while collecting the Funko side of it. You can appreciate in other ways, like doing live streams and just chatting about Kingdom and Planet of the Apes is enough in a way. So you done pops would be pretty cool, but it's nice just to chat about film and TV as well.
I preferred it. Sorry, I preferred it when they used, like how you mentioned then about Apes, when they made that line for Planet of the Apes, and it's literally 3 pops, and that's all it is, and it's like nice to have a small line, and that is it. Like Lord of the Rings before was like a dozen pops. Even so, as a massive franchise like that, there's not a great deal really, but when stuff just keeps going on and on and on, like you mentioned with the Grogu's, how many Grogu's do you need? There's probably 20, maybe more. Like when there's lines that are literally like 2 or 3 pops for that franchise, and that's it. It's quite cool to own 1 or 2 of them, and that's it.
Yeah.
But even like in that photo there, how many ETs are in that picture? Or like,
oh yeah,
or like Stranger Things. They're just re-release. They're making more Stranger Things pops of stuff that is basically they've already done. Or like, here's some pops that we've sold individually. Now it's a 4-pack of the exact same pops. So what's the point? It just takes the fun out of it. You look at it and just go, oh. So, yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's a tough one.
Yeah, literally, because the pops I've listed today were all in my cupboard, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, why did I buy that? I generally don't know why I bought it. Before I was just like, I'm trying to complete the whole collection from that film, like Shang-Chi. I've listed up all my Eternals pops. I'm like, why have I got all these Eternals pops? Like, even if I sell them all, £5 each, and then suddenly they all spike up in price and they're worth £50 each, I wouldn't be bothered I just like, yeah, they're just taking up space. I'm not them. They're not on display. No one can see them anyway. I just felt, yeah, it's just a massive. I think it's a time to let go, and like you said, maybe do collect like a nice poster and get people to sign the poster. 'Cause that just takes up one space, and the poster could look awesome. Like I know your Middle Earth one behind you is really really cool, and so if people started signing that would be mad, and and the space isn't going to go any bigger or smaller, but yeah. Meg says she only likes the Steve Irwin ones now. You got a Steve Irwin one? Have you?
Yeah, she got. No, Meg's got 3 Steve Irwins, I think, and the Queen.
Oh yeah, I haven't listed the Queen up. It's a bit immoral. It's a damaged Queen as well, so I'm like, better not. Yeah, I mean, Jack says some lines just go over the top and release too many weird variants. Exactly that. I think that goes back to what Joe was saying with like the Planet of the Apes ones. It was just 3 commons, and that was it. You don't need to do flocked Caesar, flocked Bad Ape, flocked Maurice. You don't like 3 commons. Collect them if you want, and that was enough. Same with like the Star Wars Rebels, the first wave of it. They just released the 5 Rebels, whatever it was. Collect them. Now they've gone down multiple Ahsokas and all that, and just getting a bit silly. Anyway, let's move on. And we're writing too much about Funko. It might be time to wind Joe up. It is. It's time to wind Joe up. So it is time for Keep 5, Bin 5. Okay, that's my favorite part of the show. Keep 5, Bin 5, where Joe needs to keep 5 and bin off 5. Do you know what today is? It marks a certain anniversary. Did you see it?
No.
22-year anniversary of a certain film.
No.
No.
No, I've not touched my phone today.
Right, so it's a 22nd anniversary of a certain film. So I thought let's do the main characters from this film, and the film is Attack of the Clones. So it could be hard, could be easy. You could base it on however you want. You could base it on how good they are in the film, or you could base it on that overall. It's totally up to you. But what I will do, I'm gonna stay on the slides. What I should be able to. Oh, that's the other one. You ruined it. I won't stand the slides.
I won't pay attention.
So yeah, we'll start off then, mate. If you want to keep 5 being 5, and I'll get my phone up for you.
I feel very intimidated looking at Mace Window. It's giving that side like, bin me off, eh? Bin me off, motherfucker.
Say bin again.
Well, what do you know? It's those cloners from Camino. Do you know what? I'll make it a bit easier on myself at the start. I'll bin off C-3PO and R2-D2 straight away.
Oh.
I think they're really rattling in this film. I do like the scene where C-3PO uses boosters for the first time. That's cool. C-3PO, R2-D2, sorry, uses boosters for the first time.
Yeah.
C-3PO really winds me up in the droid factory. Like there's some really cool like action sequences, and it cuts to him going, "Oh no!"
Yeah,
that's how I want to see. I want to see Mace Windu swinging a lightsaber.
It's funny you say that. So I was funny you say, look, I've just watched Star Wars trilogy. I can't believe how jarring C-3PO is.
Yeah, like, he is.
He's more jarring in this than the prequels, and like he's a bit of a git. Like you don't like R2-D2 in the originals.
Just a moany. He's a moany git, isn't he?
Right, and the amount of hate Jar Jar got in the prequels, I feel like C-3PO is just as bad in the originals. Like, if you watch it back now, he's really, really irritating. But yeah, go on, mate. After you.
I'll keep Anakin.
Yeah,
and Count Dooku. I think Count Dooku is the highlight of this film.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tough actually. Those last few. I love Christopher Lee's performance in this. It's fantastic. When he's speaking to Obi-Wan, it's so like cold, menacing, and you can tell he's telling the truth. And I used to find that so rattling as a kid, and even more so now when we watch it back. And we did our watch along. Listen to him, and he's going, "Oh, Darth Sidious is the controlling force in the galaxy," and he's going, "I don't believe you." And then, like in the third film, when they're kind of unraveling it, it like still doesn't click that he's literally told him that.
Oh,
I find that so bizarre. He's literally said like the name, what's
Yeah.
going on. Yeah, bizarre. I might bin off Django Fett, because he dies extremely easy. He's supposed to be like a massive badass, and he just it's pretty boring death. I do like the fight scene with him and Obi-Wan on Camino, but
yeah, true.
yeah, I'll bin off Django. I'll bin off Dex, even though I do
Ah,
like him.
oh,
What do you know? And I do. I absolutely love Django Fett, but I think he was underused. I would have liked to have seen the chase scene at the start with Django Fett instead of can't think of the name now off the top of my head. So who are we left? I've got one bin left out of
yeah.
Mace,
You've kept
Obi,
Anakin and
Padme,
Dooku.
and Yoda. That's quite tough actually. I was so intimidated by Samuel L. Jackson staring straight into my soul. Da, 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 da. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to bin off Mace Windu
Oh,
just because this was like our first real introduction to Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. This is where like I feel like in episode 1, like obviously Duel of the Fates is incredible, but he's quite moany in the fan. But in this one, the difference in the couple of years between these films is so drastic. Padme is obviously a very defining role in this one, and I know loads of people hate it, but I absolutely love the fight scene with Dooku and Yoda, so I'd have to keep Yoda for that reason.
I
So
think that image as well is so cold. Such a good
yeah,
photo.
it just literally just like I'm surprised he didn't say like bitch because he's like Dooku puts like everything into him, and he's just like, yeah,
Puts it in his pocket.
you've still got to learn. Just flips him, but yeah, so I will keep Anakin, Yoda, Padme, Dooku, and Obi-Wan. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, pretty solid. So you're binning off 3PO, R2, Django, Dex, and Mace Windu. Yeah. Which can't really argue that. It was quite hard actually to get 10 characters up. I was struggling.
You should have got Colin Trebor.
Who's that?
He's the Jedi, the one that like pops up in front of Dooku and Django Fett and just ignites his lightsaber, and Django Fett just goes ping ping.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so 22 years since Attack of the Clones, if that doesn't make you feel old enough yet. So not long till we get, 3 more years till we get the anniversary of that in cinemas, probably. All right, so we've got one more round of Keep 5 being 5. You may have seen it peep up already. Okay, so we've actually got the highest rated animated films according to Letterboxd. So I'm glad Jonesy's here because we've got Across the Spider-Verse in. So there is a Marvel one in there. We've got a bit of Pixar. We've got a bit of DreamWorks. Yeah, we've got a bit of DreamWorks. So I don't know if first thoughts, is this difficult? Or you think this is easy one for you?
When I first looked, I thought, oh, gold, and actually, I think I could probably narrow it down. I hope. Straight away, I'm keeping Coco. I think it's the best animated film ever made. I think it's the best Pixar film ever made. Yeah. And that is the top Toy Story and stuff. It makes me feel very, very emotional every time. It's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I will keep Coco. I will keep Toy Story. It has a very, very special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I went to my mum and dad's over the last couple of days, and I saw my original Buzz Lightyear and Woody. My Buzz Lightyear is older than me.
It's what?
My Buzz Lightyear is older than me because my old man was a manager at a Disney store when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will keep Toy Story. So those two are very easy keeps for me. As an adult, or as I've grown up a bit, I would have to keep Across the Spider-Verse just because that was the best film of last year, in my opinion.
You keeping Crossroads?
Yeah, I have to. It's the best animated film I've seen as an adult, I think. Well, besides Coco.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's it's funny when I do these like graphics, I don't even bother thinking what my answer is. So every time I do this, I don't know what my answer is. I just put it up
Do you
there.
want to flip it after I've done mine and give yours for this if you've not thought of it?
Nah, I'll take too long.
I would. I'll bin. Oh, what else would I keep? Joe. I'll keep Finding Nemo because I remember watching that a lot as a kid. And did you ever play the PS2 game?
I feel like it did, but I've got
It was
no memory of
amazing. The game was so good.
We always base it on the games, yeah.
The
So
last one's quite hard. The last one's quite hard because Monsters Inc. holds a very special place in my heart. I do really like Up, but I feel like the emotion that Up creates. I think that Up is a poor man's Coco. Now that Coco's come out, do you know what I mean? It's like
it's a
going for
different
the
kind of,
same.
yeah, it's like Coco's got attacked you on one side of the heart and Up's got you on the other side of the heart. So it depends what kind of heart you've got.
Yeah,
But
I feel like Coco's like the uplifting version of Up. Well, pardon the pun, but yeah. So I'll bin Up
there's
and
Inside Out, the best film.
Rough take.
Yeah.
Have you not seen it?
I've half seen it.
When Bing Bong. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that
I know
got me in
Bing
the
went
feels.
bias.
Yeah, that got me in the feels. I will bin off. Right, I'll go quick fire on a few just so I can rip the band-aid off. I'll get rid of Up, Shrek.
Wow. Right, Up. Yeah.
Shrek. If it was Shrek 2, Shrek 2 would stay, but I will bin off the Iron Giant. I love that film as well. Did you know that Vin Diesel is the voice of the Iron Giant?
I'm gonna say nah. I don't think I would know that.
Yeah, so I'll get rid of those three. So now I've got to keep one from Monsters Inc., Incredibles, and Ratatouille. Is that correct?
Yeah. Monsters Inc., Incredibles, Ratatouille.
Tough.
I think that's quite easy for me, but
See, you were probably the same age as me when Monsters Inc. came out as I was when The Incredibles came out. That's why it's tough for me. Because I was like 7 maybe when The Incredibles came out.
It's quite interesting looking at the posters. Like, say Monsters Inc., it says from the creators of Toy Story, and then Incredibles, it says from the creators of Finding Nemo. So they all link up. Like, you can kind of see the timeline of these films. Yeah, Tim says the Book of Life and Coco are amazing Day of the Dead animated films. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. I didn't get what you meant. Day of the Dead, yeah, of course.
Dia de los Muertos. Yeah, I think I'll keep Monsters Inc. I think if I was given the choice to watch one out of the three, I'd keep Monsters Inc. However, Ratatouille is also brilliant, and well, so is Incredible. That is a tough one. That's a tough one. I think Iron Giant, Shrek, and Up are quite easy to get rid of, but to get rid of two more is quite tough. So, congratulations, sir! You've made me look like a tit again.
So, if you could read out your 5, and I'll just confirm I've got the right 5.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc., Toy Story, and Coco.
That is correct. So you've been off Up, Shrek, Iron Giant, The Incredibles, and Ratatouille. But yeah, quite a solid one. That it's a weird one that because like Shrek's like iconic, but then it's like up against everything else. It's quite a tough one. Right, and next up we have got what's coming up. So it's going to be a bit different this. So let's get up what's coming up. So what's coming up? It's not actually about our channel. It's actually about what's coming up at the cinema. So we've got 4 films upcoming either this weekend or the weekend after, and we're gonna have a little chat about it. So if it's gonna load, is it loading for me? Did it come up?
No.
Maybe I'll do it. There you go. New releases. So we've got The Strangers Chapter 1, the Garfield movie, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, and If. So obviously we've got our Cineworld Unlimited cards. What will you be seeing out of these, mate? And would you see If again? That's a good question for you.
I think I would, I think I would. I think I'd quite like to take Meg because I think she'd really enjoy it. Furiosa, I've not watched any of the Mad Maxes, any of them, but this one doesn't. The cinematography does intrigue me. And when I was a bit younger, when Fury Road came out, it didn't really interest me. But I think I'm gonna have to watch that over the next few weeks if I get some spare time at home. I've got a feeling I might be talking absolute rubbish, but I've got a feeling they might be releasing Mad Max for like a day or something for Fury Road before this comes out.
What, cinema?
Yeah, I think so. Whether it's at Cineworld or not, I don't know, but I'd quite like to watch that and then watch Furiosa. The trailers make it look really good and the cast is great. Yeah, quite intrigued by it because I've no knowledge about it except from that I believe it's like post-apocalyptic and that's about it.
Yeah, in Australia. That's what I said.
Oh, is it?
In Australia, yeah. So it explains Chris Hemsworth being in it. I was just looking at the poster a bit more. It's actually a mad poster. Like the detail on that poster is really cool. And I did see on Twitter last night, or X, whatever you want to call it, Anya Taylor-Joy and the director, is it George Miller from the mastermind of George Miller. They all got a standing ovation at Cannes.
Yeah.
It's meant to be really, really good. So it's interesting. Again, I've got no knowledge of it. And I heard Anya Taylor-Joy's got like only 30 lines in the film.
Oh, really?
30 lines of dialogue. So, and I don't even know. I don't know. Is she the villain? Is Chris Hemsworth the villain? I don't know anything. So I really haven't got a clue on how it's going to go. Chat coming up here. We've got Mark who says Garfield wins. Corey's looking forward to The Strangers Part 1. I have to agree. Very excited for that. Although I didn't like the last Strangers film. The original was good. Coombe said Furiosa looks fantastic. Furiosa is super good. And that's a good shout. Furiosa in IMAX. So yeah, if I get time to watching the other two, then yeah, I will definitely go watch Furiosa in IMAX. Wayne loves Mad Max. Mel Gibson over Tom Hardy though. Can't beat the OG. Okay, so yeah, there was. I think they did redo this as well. It come up on my Sky Cinema today. And Wayne says Mel Gibson is fantastic. So Joe, the other films in Strange. I know you're not a horror man, so Stranger's not for you.
No, I've not really seen anything about it, but everyone knows my sort of like feelings on horrors. I don't know. Like I'd quite like to give it a go, but just there's nothing about horrors that really like excite me. I don't enjoy sort of like jump scares and stuff like that. I'm like, you know what I mean? So maybe that'll change. Maybe that'll change one day. Corey slowly twisting me. But yeah, we shall see. Garfield, I'll see. I will see Garfield, but I think that'll be the same sort of category as how I was viewing it. If it'll be like if I do a marathon of a few films in one day because May's so jam packed with the films, and that'll be my comedic relief in the middle. I'm hoping it'll be really good. I've not watched a single trailer about it.
Trailer's good. I thought trailer's good.
I don't think where I've like gone into the cinema pretty much just before the film start. I don't think I've seen a trailer on screen either. So
yeah. Saying that though, the trailers for Garfield almost happened like last month, and now it's coming out. Where like this week in cinema, the trailers was with the Black Men, whatever it is.
Yeah, that looks great.
I'm trying to think what other trailers were this week. I can't really remember. I think that might be like the only one. I can't really actually remember any other trailers. I was just thinking that could be a good idea for like a YouTube video or a TikTok challenge where you pull out of a hat what genre film you've got to see. And if you actually land in a horror, then you actually got to see the strangers. If you get a comedy, then you have to go see Garfield. But yeah, breaks it down a bit more. Mark said the new Garfield pops are fantastic, and Coombe said, "Oh yeah, Prison of Azkaban is getting a re-release too." That'd be pretty cool to hear that in the cinema. I remember when I saw Fantastic Beasts at the cinema, and the music score wasn't the same as like the classic Harry Potter sound, which is a shame.
It just didn't hit, I don't think, for me.
Yeah.
Fantastic Beast. I wanted that like Harry Potter experience, and it just was, yeah.
It's kind of like you're faking the enthusiasm a little bit. It's like, oh
Yeah,
I loved it, but it doesn't.
same
hit,
as the sequels, wasn't it? The sequels is a bit like that.
What's that? Sorry.
Star Wars sequels. You come out of it like, oh my god, that was amazing, and then like a few weeks later, like, it wasn't really though, was it?
I love seeing the lightsaber back on screen, but it's like, oh yeah, it was Finn holding a lightsaber, doesn't know what to do with it technically, you know what I mean? But yeah, I've got to do my Star Wars video after this, so I'll chat more about Star Wars and sequels after. I was gonna say, yeah, and if you've touched on, you might see it again. So next up, then we've actually got to do YouTube comment of the week. Okay then, guys, so it's YouTube comment of the week, where we pick our favorite comment from the last week on one of our socials. It could be positive, it could be negative. Joe, have you got a comment, sir?
I do. Mine was like a little bit of a back and forth on a video this week on TikTok.
Yeah.
So it was movies that I would never watch again, and one of the films on it was Skyscraper with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I've seen the poster of that where he's just holding up.
Where he's just hanging from the top of a building. Oh, it was not good news as a film. And I've got in a bit of a back and forth that I was having an absolutely hilarious time with. Someone just went, "Oh my god, another hater on the Skyscraper movie," and I said, "Sorry, dude, just not for me."
Mm-hmm.
And we just kept going back and forth. We were just going, "But it's really good." So I went, "Yeah, you might. Congrats." I like. Appreciate that you like it. Well done.
Enjoy it.
Like, yeah, exactly. You like it. He's like, but it's good. It's like, I won't change my opinion if I didn't like it. I was being so nice. And they're the sort of like the negative comments I like on YouTube and TikTok because they're just funny. They're harmless fun. So that
keep
was
engaging, keep replying.
Yeah. I just watched the numbers count going, there's 100 views, there's 100 views.
Yeah, keep pushing.
So that was my YouTube comment of the week.
This was on, say, movies you've never watched. Movies you'll never watch again.
Yeah, one of the parts of those.
Yeah. All right, then, guys. So let's get up my YouTube comment of the week. Okay, guys. So my YouTube comment of the week comes from I think it's my latest YouTube video, actually. My Planet of the Apes Complete Funko collection. It comes from the Pop Tart once again. Regarding the collection, he says it's catch-22 for me. I like it when they do small sets, but we'd definitely like to see more. He's definitely seen the new film, just not sure when. And yeah, it's literally what you've touched on already. Like, it is really nice when they do a small limited set, 3 common pops. You can collect them because you want to collect them. It's not hard to obtain at the time because if you want it, you would have got them at the time. And yeah, so a nice small set to add to your collection. But yeah, that's my YouTube comment of the week. Next up, we have got our last 4 watched. Okay, guys, so last 4 watch is the part of the show where we open up our Letterboxd accounts. People in the stream, Paul, Corey, Harry, whoever's on Letterboxd. Yeah, if you want to tell us what your last 4 watch, and we'll have a little chat about it. Joe, what is your last 4 watch then, mate? We'll have a little chat about it.
Well, you might be able to guess the last one. It was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
That was my second from last. Yeah. Boom.
I gave that a 4 star.
Yep.
Already touched upon it, of course. Yeah, loved it. We'll probably be watching it again over the next couple of weeks, maybe a couple of times actually. In different, something that's really good about Cineworld, without blowing trumpets, sponsored this stream by the way, is the variations of screens. and it's like the different experience you get in the cinema, and it doesn't feel like you're just rewatching the same film by watching it in different screens. So yeah, really cool for films like that. My second most recently watched was Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, very, very, very good. Brilliant performance by Ryan Gosling and the cast in general. And Aaron Taylor Johnson is in that as well, and he's a sort of different part to what you used to see him play, which is quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that was If. Didn't realize that it's not supposed to be out until the 17th. So yeah, quite cool that I've seen it. Quite cool that I've seen it. That again, really good. I'd recommend anyone to go and watch it. It makes you sort of like think about, don't lose the sort of like kid in you sort of thing. And yeah, really, really cool. And very emotional. I was very, very surprised. Caught me completely off guard. So yeah, and one that Wayne will remember, I assume. Yeah. I watched a film last Friday, I believe it was, called The Secret of Nim, if anyone knows what that is. It's a cartoon from 1982. And I remember watching it as a kid and just being really freaked out by it. It's about like mice and rats. And I was really surprised watching it back. The cast, one of the main characters is Derek Jacobi, who was actually at LFCC Winter. Dan met him. And he was one of the main characters in it. And I had no idea, which was really, really bizarre. But yeah, it's an animated film called The Secret of Nim. And it used to freak me out as a kid. And I saw it come up on my completely legit Amazon stick. And thought I'll give that. I'm going to watch that back because I remembered it very brokenly.
Yeah, that's the poster. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't recognize it at all. No.
Yeah, creepy as hell. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I gave that 3, mainly for nostalgia reasons. But yeah, a very, very random one.
Yeah, it looks like some weird like Cinderella crossover. Some weird thing going on.
It's have you ever watched An American Tale? It's the same sort of animation as that.
Yeah,
and like The Rescuers, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, it looks familiar, but it don't at the same time. Anyway, that's my last 4 watched. I'm not going to elaborate too much because I've got my trilogy review to come out Saturday. But my last 4 would be Return of the Jedi that I watched today, Kingdom, Planet of the Apes, Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars: A New Hope. So literally, I can't really add anything without ruining Saturday's video. But I did see Kingdom and Planet of the Apes at the IMAX, and then I did see it in the standard viewing as well. And the difference is chalk and cheese. It is really. I think I'd have to see films in IMAX from now on. Like I'm debating seeing The Fall Guy. I'm gonna have to see it on a big screen, or at an IMAX at least. So yeah, like when I watched Kingdom on a standard screen, it wasn't the same. Even the sound, you actually do notice the sound. So yeah, it's definitely going to be big screen going forward. Corey's got his last 4 watched. He says Abigail again, The Black Phone, Saw. Must be. I take it that's the original Saw. And rewatch Yellow Jackets. Is that season 1 and 2, or did you just watch season 1? I've heard a lot of people slating Yellow Jackets season 2. People saying Yellow Jackets season 1 is good, and then season 2 is awful. But I feel that's quite harsh. Paul says Lavender Hill Mob, Avengers, some Lego thing, and Clone Wars. I think I saw that come up, Paul. You watched some Lego one. I can't get up now. Coombsy says Spider-Man 2 re-releases during Wales Comic Con weekend. So that's August 10th-ish, I think. And Jack's on a Deadpool versus Deadpool Wolverine preparation. X-Men Origins Wolverine. I actually really like that film. I guess a lot of hate. X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, and X-Men Apocalypse. So, did you fall victim to getting any pops from that, Jack? Or did you just enjoy the film, mate? And Corey did watch both seasons. So, yeah, that's one trailer that did come up before Kingdom Planet of the Apes was Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah.
So, but that's that come up like 2 months early, almost 2 months early. So, it's weird how these trailers come up a bit too ahead of its time. Like, the If trailer. Yeah, I don't remember seeing the If trailer at cinema. I've seen it on like TV adverts or something. You know what I mean? Or like a YouTube advert. But I've not actually seen it. I can almost not remember where I've seen the If trailer. Corey says it is harsh. I hate seeing my favorite shows get hate. Yeah, totally get that, mate. There's a Cineworld in Newport. We could roll up after the con to
That's
see
my
Spud.
local.
Yes, it's his unlimited card, yeah. And Logan next, which I hope stays canon. Yeah, you know what? Deadpool 2 I watched once at the cinema and fell asleep, so I don't actually have much memory of Deadpool 2. I just remember the fat little kid in it.
Deadpool 2 or Rebel Moon 2? I remember you falling asleep in one.
And you was asleep as well, son. He hadn't watched any of them before. All right, anyway, next up then, guys, we've got what's coming up, but this is actually on our social. Okay, then, guys, so what's coming up is part of the show where we tell you what's coming up on our socials or what plans we've got regarding film, TV, any content-wise. So, Joe, what have you got coming up, mate?
I filmed a video last Saturday for TikTok and YouTube, so short and long form. I did a cinema challenge. I just need to get, I just need to get time to edit it and really I've got a vision for the video, so I don't want to just put it out without the editing that I want to do. But it's just trying to find the time. I mentioned previously my May and start of June is so busy. I'm away this weekend for a wedding, and then Thursday I'm going abroad, and then come back, and then I'm going away again. I don't know whether I'm coming or going, and it's all over the shop. So I need to sit down and try and find myself some time to edit the video. And yeah, before I know it, it's going to be potentially con season again. So yeah, very busy, but I really want to get back to making videos, but it's just tough to know what to do at the minute, as we've touched upon. I've got some Funko stuff I could do, but am I really that passionate about it, or that? Not really. I kind of want to find a nice avenue to go down with film and TV. I do want to talk about the Rings of Power Season 2 teaser, because it looked fantastic. So you might see a video in the next few days, hopefully, if I get some time to do that. But nothing set in stone, really, unfortunately. But just a busy man.
Yeah, I think the problem with us is it's quality over quantity. Like, we could probably get a video out, but if you can tell we're tired or the enthusiasm's not there, it's not going to be a good video, and people will put it on after 20 seconds. They'll be like, "Oh, he sounds flat," and just turn it off or swipe up whatever social you do watch it on. But yeah, that was something I was going to touch on tonight, but I feel like we do it more closer to the time, because the Rings of Power Season 2 trailer did drop, and House of Dragon Season 2 trailer dropped as well. So yeah, that's going to be more for June. June's a massive month for TV shows. We've got House of Dragon, Lord of the Rings, got The Boys, and there's one, and The Acolyte. So massive month for TV shows. Do let us know in the chat what shows you are planning on watching, or if you're going to watch them all, because content wise, I do want to do some content on the shows, but I can't cover all of them. I'll be too stretched to do every show every week and do watch parties and watch party reaction videos and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, what are you looking forward to the most then out of the four? Is it Rings of Power?
Probably. I was one of the very few that enjoyed aspects of Rings of Power Season 1. I appreciate it's not true to Tolkien, sorry, but seeing Middle Earth created in modern age, the way that it's been done, I just thought it was visually very stunning, I thought, and it was promising. It was the first thing, and this teaser looks like they've really taken into account the criticism they've got for it, and it looks really good, and some of the things they're exploring is very exciting. So yeah, I'd probably say it is. House of Dragon I am absolutely buzzing for, and it does look sick. And again, this teaser, there's a few twists and turns that people might not have expected, so it does look like it's gonna be very, very good. How do you feel about those? I think we're both in a similar sort of boat with the Acolyte, where we're a bit like
well, I was just about to say, I was like, we'll know what one Corey enjoys the most, because it'll be his profile picture, in June. So that'll be Corey's answer. Harry said The Boys it's going to be peak, can't be worse than the comics. What a load of horse poo they were. I've not read the comics. I don't think I've even seen any of them. I've not really kept an eye out for them. So what was your question? What my thoughts on? Oh, the Acolyte. Yeah, the Acolyte. I'm intrigued about. I'm a bit like on the fence about the casting. Like, I need to be behind like a character or an actor that I enjoy watching, but all of them are a bit. They're okay. Might be a bit jarring. So at the moment, I'm like, if they all die, I don't really care. Which with canon, I kind of hope they all do die. So I think someone did. I think you mentioned it on the last show, or Coombs mentioned it, that technically Yoda has to be in it because he is alive during this time.
Yeah,
So that would be mad if Yoda does turn up, and yeah, then maybe there'll be. Maybe there could, I don't know, that'd be a bit of a stretch. Maybe there could be a bit of more information regarding Yoda's species and who the offspring of Grogu could be, something like that. It
I
would,
don't think we'll ever find out anything about his species, and I hope
yeah,
we don't. Way I don't. You don't have to explain everything, which
yeah,
I think Disney are like going down that path of like, oh, there's a story to be told there that hasn't been told. It's like you don't have to tell it.
mm,
Some things can just be
oh,
left as they are. Like,
yeah. They
so
saying that yeah, they don't have to, of course they do. Like Lord of the Rings didn't have to come back. And you got Rings of Power. Now you got the Hunt for Gollum. It's gonna be, and we've got where this animated film is in November, December time.
that looks sick.
Is that canon?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
yeah,
well, it's Lord of the Rings is an open franchise, so like anyone can have a go at it.
yeah.
But that's that that can be really good. Lord of the Rings is an awkward one because like it lasts over so many thousands of years. There's so many stories to tell. I'm really excited for this Hunt for Gollum, but it's set in between the Lord of the Rings films, which are perfect. There's so
Hmm.
much other stuff you can tell before and after. Why not just leave what was perfect as was and tell different stories from different ages where you can cast completely new people, which is what I like about the Rings of Power.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Yoda one's interesting because I think he has to show up. I'd be gutted if he doesn't. For me, it'd be a bit of a waste of doing a show in that era if Yoda doesn't show up, even in little parts in multiple episodes. If they're on Coruscant or in a Jedi temple,
It's got to
surely
be there.
he's got to show up. But I'll be interested to see how they do him because in the Last Jedi, they brought him back as a puppet because obviously he was a puppet in the originals. But this is set before the prequel, so you'd like to think that they're going to animate him again. I would
Hmm.
like to see him animated personally.
And sorry, sequels. He was a
He's a
Force Ghost.
puppet.
Was he a
Yeah,
Force
as a
Ghost?
puppet, is a force ghost. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, that will be something. I don't think a lot of people have touched on that either regarding Yoda. So it could be a big surprise. But rest of the shows, I'm excited for the boys. Excited to see Jeffrey D. Morgan. But we've touched on it Funko Pop wise. I'm trying to just sell my boys Funko Pops now. So they're just in my cupboard. They're not on display. So I just want to try and trim down that. But yeah, excited for the boys. I've done half an episode of Gen V, which I'll actually watch at your house, I think. I don't think I know you watched it when you come mine, I think.
yeah, yeah.
And I fell asleep. So yeah, I need to watch Gen V. Um, what else there? Acolyte, House of Dragon. I'm very excited for. My knowledge on House of Dragon season 2 is zero, so whatever happens, I'll be very excited for. But trailer looks really good, and the other one is I'm missing one more again. Boys, Acolyte, House of Dragon, Rings of Power. Rings of Power. I've not watched the first one. I think I've done one episode, and
Really?
yeah. I don't know. If I sit down properly and do it, and I'm sure I love it. Just the patience of it, and actually understanding who the characters are. Like you know straight away, oh, that's Elrond. But for me, I'm trying to work it out and actually not focusing on the story. I'm too busy trying to work out
I
who.
was trying to work out the first time. I watched it twice, and the second time I enjoyed it a lot more, like knowing because it is a bit of a puzzle. You're trying to figure out what's going on. I think they do a decent-ish job at explaining it, but there's quite a lot of moments where they don't have to overly explain, and you kind of like in your head go, "Oh my god, that's that place. That's really
Yeah,
cool to see."
yeah,
But that it's very visually pleasing as a Lord of the Rings fan to be like, "Oh my god, that's that place they talked about," and now you can actually see it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
100%. I was gonna say like text before films, like we did have that with Kingdom Planet of the Apes. It tells you about years ago there was this flu,
Mm.
and humans destroyed themselves. It kind of sets up the film because even if you didn't watch the original, this text and this this little synopsis would actually tell you where we're at in the world. And you get it with the Star Wars films as well, don't you? It tells you about, oh, we're at war, the Clone Wars, la la la. This is what's happening. Princess Leia's been captured, la la la, and tells you where you're at in this film.
It breaks down that sort of bit, doesn't it, in the middle, like Attack of the Clones to Revenge of the Sith. All of a sudden, one of the main characters at the start is Grievous, and the only bit you know about him is the little prelude at the start.
Yeah, he's on the run. Yeah. And then the other type of narration is Lord of the Rings in the Fellowship of the Ring, and that narration at the beginning, it tells you about how all the rings were separated, and then there was this one ring, and that one ring you're almost fascinated with already. Like, what's so good about this one ring? And the flashback does show you what was so good about the ring, which Joe is the owner of now. So but lose your train of thought. But as is it for me? I feel like I feel like it was on the what's coming up category. But for me on my channel, what's coming up is Star Wars videos Saturday. And that is pretty much it for now. I've got Comic-Con the week after with Coombsy. We'll be at MCM. Hopefully meet Emily Swallow. Not sure how busy it's going to be. I feel like it'll be a busy con because the weather's getting better, and when the weather's nice, people queue up earlier, so the sun should be out. But yeah, look forward to go back to a con and just be a bit more relaxed, not really under pressure to get things done. I'll do my Comic-Con pint. So I had to do the pint test. I know what stall not to go to this time. But yeah, look forward to get back to the cons. Hopefully get a few more cons done, because at the moment the guest announcement wise not looking great for cons, but London cons is quite easy for me to go to because I'll just be paying an entry fee. But yeah, we'll see on that one. Let's just see what the chat's saying before we wrap up. Harry Potter from HBO is going to be a lot closer to the books. Also, The Last of Us. There's some still images from season 2 of The Last of Us that got dropped with Pedro Pascal with longer hair. That looks pretty cool. And Coomsy says we had to have watched the 2003 Clone Wars to know who this fake forearm crazy mechanical thing was. Yeah, I remember that. That was like the Samurai Jack animation. I was watching it. I was like, why do these guys look like Samurai Jack?
Like Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, that sort of animation.
Yeah, it's really, really 2D stuff. And Coomsy says, take you to the good point. Yeah, we will. Telford and Wales are stacked so far. Yeah, I'll have a look at them. Yeah, Wales should be going Wales for Sean Austin at least. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into tonight's stream, guys. Hope you did have a good one. We've gone 15 minutes over just by chatting about film, TV, just chatting about what we love. So thank you to everyone that's tuned in tonight. I will leave you with this, and then I'll leave you with the outro. Thank you for tuning in.
What a wonderful day!